Of course, if there's anything that is as important as living itself, it's the security of lives and property. And therefore, FCT administration, of course, has been doing quite a lot in this regard, and that's why we have invited someone that is very fit to talk about this issue this morning, Dr. Peter Olomoji. He is the Secretary, FCT the Security Department's Command and Control Center, always willing to be here to provide explanation where necessary. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
We also call him Dr. Sharp Sharp because, of course, everything about him is sharp sharp, no delay, no time wasting, and that's what security, for me, should be all that should be about all the time. No time wasting. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, let's start from the very recent activity, especially in the FCT, where as a means of supporting the security agencies that are working tirelessly within the nation's capital to ensure that we all sleep peacefully, the FCT administration handed over about 50 Hilux, brand new Hilux vehicles and other security gadgets to security agencies. Let's start from there. As someone in the middle of all of this, why do you think the minister took this route of providing this logistical support to the agencies?
Yes, before you could talk about effective and good security, you must talk about mobility, and you must also talk about communication. Without these two very important components, there's no way you can achieve the wider and effective watertight security you intend to achieve. And the Honorable Minister, Barrister Wike, right from inception, have prioritized security of the residents and the entire landmarks of the FCT as one of his cardinal objectives that he has to always guarantee. You should know that the FCT is the seat of power, like I always say, and whenever FCT sneezes, every other state catches cold. And the best way to make sure that FCT does not cease is to ensure the good security network of the entire landmass, and that is what has propelled the Honorable Minister of FCT in ensuring that those major and very vital operational instruments are provided, and that is the provision of the operational vehicles to security agencies and sophisticated communication gadgets, which was done just last Friday.
Yes.
And this has brought this is part of the renewed hope agenda of the federal government and the FCT administration to ensuring that the residents of the FCT can all sleep with their two eyes closed, having in mind that some people are staying awake to ensuring that they're guaranteeing that.
All right. And just before this particular vehicles, the minister, handed over to, I think, area council chairman some time ago, about some months ago, also motorcycles, and he said those were for vigilantes and other community security efforts. So, from all indications, one can see that the government, on its part, is doing everything that is necessary.
That's true.
And there are people who will still argue that, but there are still some pockets of insecurity here and there. What is now expected of the citizenry as part of their own complementary role to all of this effort? Because I want to believe that government can only do as much, provide all the needed support and all of that, and then the citizens also have theirs to do. What should citizens be, especially residents of FCT, be doing to complement all of this effort by the government?
Yes, taking it from what you just mentioned, where the FCT administration provided motorcycle to vigilante groups and the local government, and not forgetting that those motorcycle was also given to the FCT police command, because you see FCT is surrounded by mountainous areas.
Yes.
And these nefarious guys that come to perpetrate these nefarious activities are always coming from the fringes, which is the hilly part, the mountainous areas. And there's no way you could effectively go in their pursuit with the conventional vehicle. You just needed something that can also navigate within this rocky part and the bushy part. because we gathered that they use more of these motorcycles too as a means of escape. You know, so and that's why the FCT administration has also purchased this motorcycle and handed it over both to the police and the local government, and that has really helped in clamping down of these criminal elements within those mountainous areas. Now, what is the role of we the citizens? Because you should know that one of the things we've gathered so far is that most of this attack you see that happen is always based on active informants within those local communities. What do I mean? People that are in those communities are the ones that identify the personality or the homes to be attacked. Because why? They know, they interact with them on a daily basis. They understood they are coming out and they are going in, and they also know when these people acquire some certain things. So these informants will always give these criminal elements who come from outside the FCT this information, and when they do that, they strike. Imagine the last just some few weeks ago at somewhere at Kagini, where some kidnappers went in there to kidnap some people and even killed some of the residents there, like 2 or 3 were killed. Do you know that those kidnappers were apprehended just less than 2 weeks when they carried out that nefarious act? And during their confession, we got to know that they had informants within that locality, that community, you know. So we as residents of the FCT, what is expected of us now is to start to know our neighbor properly. Just like the banks will tell you, KYC, know your customer. Now it is now time for us to know our neighbors. Most of us reside in environments that we just wake up in the morning, we go out of our house, we don't talk to our neighbors, we come back late in the night, we don't have any interaction with them.
I repeat the same
process. Repeat the same year in, year out. And at the end of the day, we want to tell me that this is modernization. But that is not modernization. Modernization tells you that you must be able to understand and know what your next door neighbor is doing for a living. If I ask now, how many of the FCT residents know what their next door neighbor are doing for a living? Especially those that stay in the city center, estates and the rest. Because everybody feels we are all big men, we have arrived. But we that are living at the suburbs, we want to interact with our next door neighbor, we want to know them. And that is why it is now left for us now to understand that we need to start to ask questions about the occupation of what my next door neighbor is doing. Now you have neighborhood associations. Yes. Do you just form those neighborhood associations just for forming sake, or to also go down to also start profiling those that reside within that estate or association, members of the association? That is, we are setting an agenda now for the leadership of this neighborhood association. Go beyond just thinking of, oh, let us form this association to take care of security and the rest. Take note, informants are in and around you that will even tell these criminal elements about you, who is the president, who is the secretary, who is the member of this association. But if we start to go down and start understanding and start knowing, profiling those coming into those estates, we realize that we'll be able to overcome these incessant attacks. And one thing we should also know is that comparing FCT of post 2024, pre-2024, and now, you can attest to it that the security within the capital, within the federal capital territory is better than what we used to see.
True.
Before now, we talk about one chance.
Yes, I was going to ask that as my last question. What has changed? Because FCT used to be known, very notorious for that particular kind of crime, but the CP said nobody should be calling it one chance. It's armed robbery.
Armed robbery. Now, you have incidences of one chance, which are armed robbers. Before now, anybody can just use any vehicle to do whatever they want on the road.
Yes.
You will see somebody covering their plate number. You see somebody with a foreign number in front and another number behind. You see somebody without plate number plying the road of FCT. And one good thing the FCT Commissioner of Police have said, which even brought out in a press release, that anybody driving any type of vehicle, any make of vehicle, you must either have the approved plate number of the vehicle, or you stand the risk of being arrested, and that order have been given. Then also, you cannot drive any vehicle within the capital territory without a plate number or covering your plate number.
Yeah, because that seems to be very prominent before now.
Yeah, before now, but now a lot of arrests have been made, a lot of impoundment of those vehicles have also been made. And also those using tinted glasses. You are not permitted to use tinted glasses. Those who are permitted to use tinted glasses have approval for it from the police, permit for it from the police. But you see, everybody, even somebody that is riding Okada now wants to put tinted glasses. You don't want to tint his Okada. You know, it's laughable. But again, one thing I want the FCT resident to know is that the FCT Police Command, through the Commissioner of Police, CP Ben Igwe and other sister agencies, have not been sleeping. One of his cardinal goals is that there's an operation Red Velvet he launched. There's another operation Dominate the Fringes. Operation Dominate the Fringes talks about securing the border community. And not just securing the border community. The good thing is that they've been going into the forest in Kaduna Forest, Kajuri Forest, going into Chikara Forest in Kogi State, going into Niger State, going into Nasarawa State, because now the security agencies take the battle to the doorstep of the criminals. And when you do that, then they're always in disarray. And I must tell you the fact, there's been a lot of arrests that have been made in the last few weeks, which we have been seeing. And these are part of what has brought about the peace and good security we're enjoying in the FCT today.
And we'll continue to say thank you to you and your team for all that you are doing to keep all of us safe, because without having to emphasize it, what you are doing is quite tremendous in respect to while we are sleeping. You guys are out there ensuring that those who are bent on causing chaos do not succeed.
That's true.
We can only continue to wish you all the best and continue to pray for those who have lost their lives, especially in the service of all of us. Thank you very much, Dr. Peter Olumuji, for making it to the station this morning.
Thank you.
He is, of course, the Secretary, FCT Security Department's Command and Control Center. And it's on this note that we have to draw the curtains on this day's edition of ASU Morning. Until we come your way again tomorrow, my name is Usman Katun Umar, urging you to continue to be security conscious. Is now Operation Know Your Neighbor. Bye-bye for now.